Hey guys, this is DarkLiberator, and today I am doing a review on Battlefield 3 for the PC. So let's get started. Battlefield 3 is the latest installment of DICE's Battlefield series, and it has come a long way from 2002 when Battlefield 1942 came out, and now we're at Battlefield 3. So the game itself runs on the new Frostbite 2 engine, which is an upgraded version of the Frostbite 1.5, and judging from the difference between Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3, the differences are massive, as you can see. First off, the lighting looks amazing and feels very natural. You actually squint when you look at the sun in the air, and lighting really shows off at night when you see all these lights going off from the police cars and some single-player missions and other maps, and it all looks great. So the graphics itself is very nice. I love the texture work in the game, and when you're flying in the air from the chopper, you can see the well done detail on the mountains and the surrounding area. How even the tessellation kicks in here. You can see all the rough bricks and the mountain itself, the terrain. It's all well done, and you have to really appreciate the environments in this game because they look fantastic. The variety are fantastic. I'm very impressed with what they've done here. So the audio itself is fantastic, and it's really well done, as you can hear in the game. If you play the game, you understand. I'll put a clip here to demonstrate why the sound is fantastic. They used real weapons in this game and real vehicles and recorded it at specific distances. So even if you heard like a sniper shot go right by you, you hear it. And then if you're at the sniper, you'd hear a different point of view. So the sounds are really well done, and the audio itself, if you got a decent sound card, you would understand why, because it just all sounds fantastic. And the audio department in DICE should deserve congratulations for making such a fantastic audio system, and improvement over Bad Company 2, which had some great sounds in itself. Also seen in the game is the new use of EA Sports animation engine, and it makes all the movements of all the soldiers in the game feel very lifelike and realistic. When you prone down, when you walk, when you run, everything just looks very realistic, the way they run and the way the animations are done. It's fantastic, and the new technology, which is called Ant, it's really well done, and you have to give big kudos for them for implementing this into Battlefield 3. And now the destruction is a little disappointing considering DICE says that everything was destructible, but I can see why they wouldn't make some buildings indestructible for balance reasons, but it feels a little less than Bad Company 2, which everything was literally destructible. But they have improved on the micro destruction, which you can see literally everywhere. Everything is destructible, literally. Well, at least the concrete blocks and the areas they designated destructible. They definitely improved the micro destruction, and there's no longer like 9mm grenade kills for it look like. So the destruction is great, just a little overhyped by DICE since they called it as a pillar of Battlefield 3. So I think destruction is pretty good in itself. Now, as for running this on computers, the game is very well optimized. Well, at least to the point of using DirectX 11 hardware. On my 5750, I was getting the 40 to 50 frames on medium and high settings, and it ran well on other computers I tried on, such as 6990, 580s. They all run very well and very smoothly. So I recommend if you're going to run it on Ultra, make sure you got enough VRAM, because I know it uses about 1.7, uses a lot of VRAM at high resolutions if you're doing like 1080 or above. If you're looking at buying the game for graphics, if you're going to max out everything, then you have to have enough VRAM. So and they weren't no slouch. It's very well optimized. I'm getting 99% GPU usage on every graphic card I tried, and hopefully in future video graphics drivers updates by AMD and NVIDIA, they increase the GPU usage a little more or kick out more frames out of the game itself. So it's well optimized. It's no console port. The single player for Battlefield 3 is your typical generic shooter where it's a linear shooter where you watch cutscenes, kill people, watch cutscenes, kill people. And the story seems to be that you have to look for a nuclear device. And you play a variety of characters such as a tank crewman and a jet pilot and others. And the single player, the story is alright, I guess, compared with like Bad Company 2, which was beyond wacky. But the game has little humor compared with Bad Company 2. though Battlefield 2's humor attempts sort of failed too. But in Battlefield 3, there's like literally no humor in the single player. Well, occasionally you might get a funny joke, but it's all serious and grim and feels very realistic. But at the same time, the story. So essentially, if you got like 5 or 6 hours to kill, then just play through the single player, and you'll probably have a blast depending on what setting you play. The AI is not very good. Well, it sort of depends. If you put on very hard, the AI will kill you very fast if it's shooting you correctly. So on and off, I give the single player okay, I guess. But who plays Battlefield for single player? The co-op mode consists of 6 co-op missions where you play with a buddy of yours, so it's a 2-man co-op. And there are a number of weapons you can unlock if you get enough points from each mission. And you have to do the first 2 missions, then you unlock the rest as you go on, one by one. And I found the co-op missions very, very fun, especially with a buddy. That's why it's called co-op. You play with a friend. And though it's a little disappointing that there's only 6 missions, I wish there were like 10 or 12 at least. And I'm also a little disappointed there wasn't a Dinosaur survival mode, but I don't think that was going to come in the first place anyway, as people were speculating. And so the AI is okay, I guess, and nothing special. And some of the weapons you can unlock in the co-op are the Rex, the KH-2002, and the M39. And there's a total of 7 weapons you can unlock in the co-op for the multiplayer itself to play with. And so I give the co-op a top notch, and I hope they add more missions as a free DLC. Though, free DLC, I don't know if that's going to come. So now we arrive at the final component of the game itself, the multiplayer. And the reason why people play Battlefield is usually for the multiplayer. Not for the single player to co-op, it's the multiplayer that really is the greatest experience. The 64-man conquest maps and all that sort of stuff. So what's new, exactly? Well, first off, there are 9 maps on release, and each of them have 5 modes, such as Squad Deathmatch, Team Deathmatch, Squad Rush, Rush, and Conquest. So, so how good are these modes anyway? So, some of these modes, such as Team Deathmatch, are a little broken right now, while others, such as Rush, are... Well, Rush is fantastic, really. They've really improved it above Bad Company 2's Rush, and there's a lot of things you can do, like base jump on some maps, or do assault from the sea on other maps, and frankly it's great. But where Battlefield's prime really shows is the 64-man conquest. Now the 64-man conquest has some huge maps compared to Battlefield Bad Company 2, like way bigger, but obviously compared with Battlefield 2 they would be smaller, and the maps are a lot more clustered together. An example would be on Hilltop. You can just literally just throw a grenade over the forest without problems. That's how close the maps are together. And the flags are together. And some of the conquest maps are just plain awful. Like Operation Metro, there's only 3 flags and 64 players, and it's a straight line. You can figure out how that goes. And it's in the tunnel section. So it's just a litter cluster hell. But I'm sure it's for people who like that sort of thing, like in Karkan or Shipment from Call of Duty 4. So a lot of people like fighting, but I like huge maps myself, and I really appreciate Conquest 64 because it has jets on it. And though some Rush maps also have jets, such as the A-10 or the Frogfoot. So that just brings up another question. So how are the vehicles in the game? Well, in my opinion, the jets and the helicopters are way nerfed. Like, the jets, for example, they're way underpowered compared with Battlefield 2. They don't have any more bombs to drop on people, but they have... all vehicles have a lot of unlocks, and once you start getting these unlocks, you'll start to show... This is when the vehicles actually start to dominate. And there's a new system where your vehicle could get disabled after a certain amount of health, but if it doesn't get disabled and it's damaged, it will repair itself automatically after a few seconds. And I find the system a little weird. Though you get used to it after a time, it's still very, very strange. A vehicle just self-repairs by itself. That's like health regeneration like we see in most generic shooters today. So, over and all, I guess the vehicles are alright, and I love the texture work on all the vehicles. They're really well done. And I hope they're a little more powerful. The jets and helicopters need to be a little more powerful because Stingers just take them down in one shot. And I hope they fix this. Speaking of unlocks, the game has thousands of unlocks, literally. You can unlock an assault rifle, and then when you start using that assault rifle, you get 10 kills, you unlock this red dot. When you get to this, you get another sort of red dot, but it's actually it's like actually a holographic scope, and you get all sorts of different scopes for sniper rifles and assault rifles, and like even for the pistols themselves, there's like 10 different unlocks for each of them, and it's really nuts the amount of unlocks. And DICE said themselves that it would take 100 hours per class to unlock everything. And I don't find that hard to believe, though I guess it would depend on how fast you play. And so far, I've only unlocked not much stuff, but I'm not exactly in a hurry to unlock everything. So, all in all, I guess the unlocks are okay, but it's a little excessive. There's shouldn't be that many unlocks. They should just make some of the guns available from release, but I've never been a big fan of unlocks in most games. But in Battlefield, that's where its main forte is. And also new is the bipod system, where you can bipod any weapon, literally, even sniper rifles. And this helps stabilize them and give you better accuracy, but the downside is you can't really move around. You're like confined in one area. And also they added the suppression system, where everything would blur around when you get shot at, and your accuracy would diminish when you're firing back with your low accuracy. So it gives you the impression you're laying fire on somebody. So like you can literally cover people. Like, I'm gonna cross this area, and your friend will help you by laying cover, which is a really nice system, and I like the suppression system a lot. So now for the classes themselves, they've combined assault with medic again, back to like 2142. So there's only 4 classes now, and they've nerfed recon completely. It's sort of useless now, though you can at least add mobile spawn points at several locations. But it seems to me that the recon has been severely nerfed thanks to complaints from Battlelog 2, where half the players were literally bushwookies who did nothing all day. But this will not stop people from sniping, as you all know. I mean, sniping is literally the great way to KD whore. So, and other than that, classes are very well balanced, and I love the weapons, the gun feel, and the sounds themselves. And I've already said that the sounds in the game are fantastic, and as you can see when you fire with different types of weapons, you can really tell the differences between them. They're really all well done, and the gun feel is just fantastic. And the pistols themselves are a little overpowered in my opinion. There's too little recoil, and they need to add a little more recoil. But other than that, it's perfectly fine. And the RPGs are not overpowered. They aren't like Bad Company 2, where you use goose stubs against players. And the splash damage is much more nerfed for the RPGs. It's mostly for anti-vehicles, or if you're in a very, very confined area and you want to take out a player at the end of the tunnel. So besides that, the weapons are all great, and some might need a little balancing here and there, but other than that, it's great. Now, in order to play the PC version of Battlefield 3, you need to activate it onto Origin and then launch it, and then when it launches, it would take you to Battlelog. And Battlelog is not only where you check stats and stuff, you have to play multiplayer, co-op, and single player through that. Though you can launch single player through Origin or through the game itself when the servers are offline or something. But it just seems a little weird to launch a browser just to play a game. I wish you could turn off the browser when you're playing, because some browsers can suck up a lot of unnecessary RAM, which you do not want to be used. And other than that, the entire thing is just strange to me. You have to log into Origin and then log into Battlelog to play a game. I mean, I guess some people would argue you have to do that for Bad Company 2. You, like, for example, you log into Steam, launch it, log into your Bad Company 2 account, and find servers. I suppose the one best thing about Battlelog is the server finding is really fast. I could just find my favorite server in 2 seconds, just like that. While in Bad Company 2, it would take like 40 seconds just to get from the launching screen to there. So, Battlelog is a great tracking site, and though it feels more like Facebook, so I guess you might as well call it Battlebook. And so other than that, I guess Battlelog's okay, and Origin still needs a little more implementing, but it's in beta, so I guess it's alright. But I like to add more skins to Origin, because orange skin is sort of boring. But other than that, I don't mind the system, I guess. A lot of people are complaining it's not on Steam, but it might come on Steam. And if it does come on Steam, you'll have to log into Steam, then log into Origin, then log into Battlelog and start playing your game. This just gets beyond annoying, I'm sure. But some people just want it on Steam. And I hope it comes on Steam as an option for people. And at the very least, at least you can just buy and just activate on Origin anyway. So on and off, I guess I don't mind about Origin and Battlelog. Battlelog's a great site to use when you get used to it. So there's bound to be some bugs and glitches, but it wasn't as severe as the beta, where there were like ragdoll glitches every once in a while. Though I'm sort of disappointed they got rid of the ragdoll bugs, because they made me laugh as like hell. But so by itself, most of the bugs from the beta itself are gone. I was really surprised at how well polished the game was. And you could actually be playing the game instead of Back 92, which you had EA disconnect every few weeks. But there are some problems, such as with Origin, some people are having problems activating it, and some other problems with Battlelog, where you get disconnected from the server every few minutes. And DICE is working on fixing these problems. They don't want to piss off their player base. To them, supposedly, they say that their community is the most important thing. So if it is the most important thing, then they will fix all these bugs, hopefully. Other than that, I do get an occasional stutter bug, and I get a bug where if I selecting my vehicle unlocks, and when I go back to the screen itself, it would show the vehicle still plastered across the menu for only a few seconds. They needed to fix that. It does sort of get annoying, but not really. And other than that, it's a well-polished Battlefield game, which I'm very surprised to see, and I'm very glad to see. So, other than that, so we've come to our conclusion. In my opinion, Battlefield 3 is the best shooter since Battlefield 2, ironically, and I much enjoy it, and I wholeheartedly recommend it to anybody who's looking to purchase this game, to PC users, and I'm much looking forward to the next Battlefield game, whatever the hell that is. Could be 2143 for all I know, or 1944. And thank you for watching the review, and please leave a comment below what you thought of the game itself. And please tell me if I missed any bugs, though I haven't really been on the lookout for bugs. I've been enjoying the game myself. And also tell me your opinions about the game itself, like even a mini review in the comments are nice. So thanks for watching, and peace guys, and have a nice day.